Hey everyone, Sarah from Qigong Health and Wellness here. Let's talk about compassion. I spoke with somebody recently who, through therapy, realized that he had no idea how to be compassionate or offer compassion to others. And there's no one way to be compassionate. It manifests in a lot of different ways. One could be holding the space for somebody, which is about listening more than you're talking, allowing them to get it out. Another could be acts of service. So if you notice your friend, family member, partner, or child is really stressed and you feel like you want to lighten the load to try to help that person, you could do the dishes, laundry, make the plans, if that's something that you feel called to do. Another is active listening. So repeating the important language, especially the emotional words, back to that person. For example, if that person has said 10 times in a row how frustrated they feel, they really connect with that word, frustration. So something you could say to them, yeah, you sound really frustrated, or I'm hearing that you're feeling a lot of frustration. People will always resonate more with the words they themselves have said, more than the words that you say. And it's also going to allow them to feel heard. You're using their language. You are listening. And who doesn't want to feel heard? We all want to feel heard and to feel understood. And another tactic is, it's not all guesswork. You can just ask, how do you most prefer to receive support? Some people love advice. Tell me what to do. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me. Other people say, I don't want advice. I just want to be heard. I'm not looking for a solution. I'm just looking to process it myself. And sometimes how I process it is by talking about it. I fall more into that category. I have a strong resistance to unsolicited advice. And I will mention that if you feel like you have a gem that you can offer this person, we all have different experiences and insights through life, and they're in the category of does not like unsolicited advice, one thing you can do is to ask permission. Hey, would it be okay with you if I shared this tip that's really helped me? You can put it back on you. This is something that's really helped me. I don't know if this is something that would help you, but I think it would be important to mention if that's okay with you. And then also gives the person control to say, no, I'm not open to hearing any advice. Because if you shared it anyway, it's just going to fall on deaf ears, and that's really not good for the dynamic. But if they say, yeah, then it's no longer unsolicited advice. You have solicited it, or you have asked for permission to give it. And the other is a combination. Sometimes people want some advice. Sometimes people want to be listened to in the same conversation. So again, it's not all guesswork. You can ask somebody, how do you most prefer to receive support? Allow the person to be an expert on themselves, because we all are. Again, we all have different knowledge. And through our experiences, we learn different ways of viewing the world. And I also invite you to ask yourself, how do you most prefer to show compassion? How do you most prefer to offer someone support? And also recognizing that just because your friends love advice, maybe that's not your preferred method. I very infrequently give direct advice. I much more heavily lean into allowing the person to talk, to feel heard, to doing that active listening. I'm hearing you're feeling really frustrated, or whatever the example is, because that's how I would most prefer to receive support. But again, not the same for everybody. And what compassion is not, it's not about being judgmental. You might feel like you have the best advice in the world, but maybe it's totally irrelevant to that person or how they live their lives. So it's the best advice in the world for you, but not for them. So in this situation, it's not helpful. It's not about demanding they take your advice. It's compassion is also not finite. It is a skill that we can develop. And I'm a huge believer, I'm a huge proponent that we can all be better versions of ourselves. We can always learn how to strengthen ourselves, our emotional intelligence, our book smart intelligence, our physical self, our mental self. It's so There are so many things that we can do to strengthen the relationships with ourselves, with other people. And so I've offered you some seeds and I invite you to plant them. So until next time, peace out.